Happy day 2 sugar detox. Challengers, how's everything going today? It is mid-morning, I guess 10 o'clock. How did everybody sleep last night? I know I slept a whole lot better last night, but still 10 o'clock and feeling tired. Not feeling hungry, but feeling tired. Therefore, on my way home, I'm thinking, geez, I should get something to eat. But why am I feeding myself? I had my green smoothie this morning, which has kept me full. I had that earlier this morning, probably around 7. So often that we reach for food when we're tired. Now, I know I probably pushed a few buttons when I said we've got to figure out ways to sleep. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that. I know that over this next 4 weeks, nothing about sleep is going to be perfect, that we're still going to have kids and dogs and things happen where we wake up through the night. It does. This is life. But I'm asking you, are you getting yourself to bed at a good, decent time so that if none of that happened, if your kids don't come in, if your dog doesn't wake you up, if the wind is so loud it's beating against your window doesn't wake you up, will you get a good quality of 7.5 to 8 hours sleep? Have you set yourself up there first if everything in your life was perfect? So the first habit that I asked you to do was to park your phone. So get rid of the blue light, park your phone, but also get yourself to bed where you know, if you go to bed at midnight and get up at 5, you're not going to get 7.5, 8 hours sleep, right? So what can you do to make sure that you set yourself up for there, not guaranteeing that it's going to happen? And I know that some of you are going through things like me. Like none of this that I'm bringing to you is coming from a place of, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going through it myself. And my daughter wakes me up. Sometimes she will fall asleep with me and we try to move her out of the bed. Then she's back up into my bed. My dog wakes me up. My husband wakes me up. There are different things that wake me up, but I also have a non-negotiable that I do not look at my phone a half an hour before I go to bed. Actually, most of the evening after I work, I put it away because it's my family time, plus it's my time to unwind. So I've done that for myself. The other thing that I do is I go to bed basically at the same time every night, and it's not easy. I do not love always going to bed at the same time as my children. It doesn't work so well for Rob and I to spend quality time together, but we try to do that other ways, other times, so that we make sure that we are still, working on our relationship. So, I protect my sleep because I know it's the foundation of the energy and what I want to bring to you all and what I want to do for myself during the next day. So I have Lexi working with somebody to help transition her back into her bed for those nights that she gets up, because more often than not she is getting up and kicks me out of my bed and I go sleep in her and I don't end up falling back to sleep. So, there's a reason for that. So again, I don't come at you with these sleep habits being the number one thing, knowing that my life is perfect and I don't have to deal with it. I am dealing with it, and I'm trying to set it up so that she gets the help that she needs and kind of figuring out like what is she so scared of. I've tried different tactics at home, but now I've reached out, and that's something maybe that you need to do as well. The other thing is talk to your kids, your family. Sorry, I didn't know I was looking so washed out. Talk to your kids or your family about what it is at the nighttime routine, what it is that you're expecting of them. I think for me personally, I can't speak for you, but for me personally, maybe I didn't set a clear schedule of what nighttime is going to look like. I mean, I know I did it when they were young. It was, bath and read a book and bed. And then somewhere along the line, I guess we maybe stopped reading to them and they were reading to themselves and they crept in more and more, and I was tired and didn't want to fight with them because I just wanted a good night's sleep. Hey, I've been there and it's happened. So maybe, sitting down with your family, with you and your husband or your whoever, your spouse, and talking to them about, as a family, what the nighttime routine should look like, what a healthy routine should look like, and working towards that together as a team, okay? So that's the first thing. Sleep. I want you to work on sleep. It, again, doesn't have to be perfect. The next thing that I want to talk to you about today is fiber. Fiber, fiber, fiber. Do we get enough fiber in our diet? It's another reason that we could be craving sugar, is we are not filling ourselves up with good soluble or insoluble fibers. Okay, so what does that mean? What is fiber? We should be getting about 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day in forms like flaxseed oil. This would be soluble fiber, so something that would dissolve in liquids. And soluble fiber actually helps you absorb the vital vitamins and minerals from your food. So this is a really important one. Psyllium husk is another great one. Chia seeds is another great one. All those are wonderful fibers to add to things like a smoothie, in your baking or cooking. Then there's insoluble fiber like your vegetables, right? Your broccoli, your cauliflower, your asparagus, all of those things are great insoluble fibers that help food pass through your digestive system, but also help you feel full. I know that many of you are like, hey, Cheryl, I got the vegetables, I'm doing them, but are you getting enough? I know for me and how active I am through the day, I'm not getting enough vegetables. At the end of the meal, sometimes I'm finding myself looking for something sweet. It's gonna tell me I didn't get enough of one or three things. I didn't get enough fat, protein, or fiber. Okay, so those are some things that we were going to look at. Today we're just specifically looking at fiber. How can we bump that up? What does that look like? I know for me, over the next 4 weeks, and maybe you want to do this too, let's go ahead and start our day with a smoothie, a green smoothie. So it should look like this when you make it. And let's commit over the next 4 weeks that that's our breakfast, okay? So for me, this was a scoop of protein powder. You could do whey protein. You want at least 20 grams of protein. Collagen is another great option, and it's one that I use many a times in the run of my day. You could do a pea protein is fine if you don't like that. Hemp heart proteins are great. Unflavored are great. So there's many protein powders out there, and there's a lot of them that you can actually just buy the packets and try first. SFL makes a great one. I love the Kaizen brand from Sobeys. It's a really cost-effective one for me and my family. So those that's the first building block. Then for your smoothie, I want a cup of liquid. So for me, it's unsweetened cashew milk. I love the creaminess. And then we want to add in a tablespoon of almond butter or peanut butter. Now for me, peanuts give me a lot of digestive issues, so I tend to stick towards the almond butter, so a tablespoon of that. And then I like to use frozen spinach, so that I don't have to add ice to this, to that, and a little bit of cinnamon. And that is my protein smoothie. It's boring, and I know that. But for me, knowing what I'm gonna have every single day just sets me up for pondering, what it is I'm gonna throw together. Do I have the right recipe? Do I have the right ingredients? This is a no-fail system. But if you wanna throw other things in there, like, those dark berries, go ahead. If you want to throw like dark cherries or something like that, go ahead in all of that, kind of mix it up. But I also love to put in a quarter of an avocado to give it that creaminess. It keeps me totally satiated for at least 4 hours, and that's what we want to be doing. Excuse me. So fiber in there, I'm putting in, I think it was, 2 cups of frozen spinach. I get the organic frozen spinach because it never goes bad. So it's always the best cost-effective way for me to buy organic foods, but have them stay and keep for a very long time. So that's how I start my morning, and maybe that's how we should all start our mornings. If you want to commit to that, just send me a message and say I am in, and I can send you guys off some smoothie recipes so that we can do this for the next 4 weeks. Keep the smoothies. So committing to the next 4 weeks, getting in your high fiber protein and fat smoothie. It's gonna look green, and you're gonna get over it because it's gonna taste good. But even if it doesn't at first, it will over time. Hopefully we'll start to change your taste buds. The next thing I want to talk to you a little bit about is blood sugar. So we're getting highs and lows, and right now I'm trying to get the sugar cravings out of my brain and out of the sugar out of my body that maybe I had on the weekend. And I can't even think, well, I had a beer on the weekend. I might have had some chips in there. Anyway, a few habits that snuck in over the weekend and over the last week that I knew I needed to tighten up on, and I really wanted to do it during this phase. So I want to talk to you about blood sugar and what happens. Again, I have all my notes, so if you see my eyes wandering, it's just to keep me on track. Blood sugar is a product that when a carbohydrate is broken down, it produces, okay? Carbs are not just bread. Carbs are found in fruit, and carbs are found in vegetables, but all carbs are not created equally, okay? A Wonder Bread and a piece of fruit are completely different carbs, right? So this is not a challenge to get rid of fruit. I don't think fruit is bad. I think that there is better fruit when we're trying to sugar detox than others. Like, I'm staying away from bananas. I'm staying away from pineapple and papaya and things like that, a little higher in fruit for right now. I'm not going to stay away from them forever, but for right now, and staying closer to the darker fruits. So yeah, blood sugar is the product of when a carbohydrate is broken down. Carbohydrates are found in all things, like I said, from chocolate cake to quinoa to pieces of fruit to broccoli, okay? The only thing when broken down out of let's just take quinoa, is the fiber. The fiber is always staying true, right? It does not metabolize into blood sugar or spike your blood sugar. When your body only wants 1 tablespoon of blood sugar in the bloodstream at any one given time. So say you were to sit down to a bowl of oatmeal after you had just worked out, and your body absorbs it. Yes, it is a slower burning carbohydrate, so a great choice for after a workout. And your blood sugar is going to spike. It only needs 1 tablespoon of blood sugar in its bloodstream at any one given time. So what does it do with the rest of it? With the rest of it, there are 3 places that blood sugar will go. One is your muscles. Now, if you've sat down with me, you know that when I design the workouts, or when we design as a team the workouts, we design them to challenge your muscles to burn through the glycogen. Glucose is another word. Glycogen that is stored in your muscles. You feel very depleted. You feel tired. They feel heavy. You go through that whole process. So one of the boxes that remaining blood sugar goes to is your muscles. So it gets used. Again, another great reason to eat your carbohydrates or a higher carbohydrate meal after a workout is that your body absorbs it and uses it for fuel in those muscles. We want it to go there. The next place that blood sugar goes, the next box, is your liver, and you need that blood sugar to go there to live with function and move around. This is a good thing. And the last place, when those 2 boxes are spilling over, that blood sugar is going to go to your fat cells. And that's what happens when we gain weight, is we're not using the blood sugar that we're eating. So again, sweet potatoes aren't bad at all. Quinoa is not bad at all. But if we're not using the amount of quinoa that we take in, the amount of sweet potato, the amount of papaya, the amount of pineapple, the bananas, then it's going to spill over into that third bucket, which is our fat cell. And that's why people are gaining weight. Well, why am I gaining weight when I'm eating bananas and quinoa and sweet potatoes? We need to look at our serving size. Let's get real. We eat a lot of carbohydrates, even though we deem them as healthy, and they are. We still have to be very aware of how much of that we're eating. Most of our plate needs to be that fiber, that insoluble and soluble fiber, the greens, the leafy greens, the broccoli, the cauliflowers, those dark, rich color of green on our plate. Then you add on top of the greens, you would put in a little bit of sweet potato, right? Then you would put in maybe some radishes or some red peppers or, green peppers and things like that. You can add color to it, but the bulk of it needs to be the green. So if not, if it doesn't, then it's going to start to spill over into that third bucket. So I just wanted to kind of explain blood sugar, explain to you how important fiber is from keeping our blood sugar stable. So now you know what blood sugar, where it goes and into each bucket. What's happening is that we are not filling ourselves up with enough protein, fat, and fiber, that we're getting these highs and lows throughout the day. I am not of the mindset, but I think everybody's different, so I want to say this first, that we eat small meals a day. It never served me. Whenever I've done that, I've always felt my body do this. I have energy and then I crash 90 minutes later. I have energy and I crash 90 minutes later, and it's exhausting. One reason it's exhausting is that my body is constantly digesting, right? I'm always constantly digesting. And because I'm coaching and digesting at the same time, I was causing a lot of gastrointestinal issues, right? I wasn't giving my my gut a chance to, my digestive system a chance to just kind of take a break. So what I do now is make sure I have the building blocks of protein, fat, and fiber in my plate every time I eat. And now I find I'm going 4 hours before I need another meal. And I'm not really needing those snacks in between. Okay, so we want to keep that blood sugar stable, thus giving me more energy throughout the day, thus not making me crash, feel tired, and reach for something in the form of a carbohydrate. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information. I know this is a long video, but I just wanted to touch upon it. I think it was important. I hope that it made sense, and if it didn't, please call me out and tell me that didn't make sense, and can you go over it in a different way? Because it's not that you're not understanding it. I may not be explaining it for you to understand it. And I believe that it is up to me to figure out a new way to make that crystal clear. So if you have any questions on today's sugar challenge, which is, let's work on the green smoothie. Let's, for the next 4 weeks, work on making a yummy smoothie. And if you want more smoothie recipes, you got to tell me you want them. You got to send me the email and I will get those to you, okay? We are going to put protein. We are going to put a form of fat, which could be, a nut butter, avocado, could be both for me. Chia is great fats, flaxseed in there, and lots of soluble or insoluble fibers, being the flaxseed, the chia, the psyllium husk, the frozen spinach, whatever, the leafy greens in there as well. With your milk, your unsweetened milk, and notice just over the next week how long you can go from when you eat breakfast to when you need your lunch, and really dial in. Again, I said I was tired at the beginning of this little video, but I'm not hungry. But my brain was like, go eat. That'll give you the quick energy. But I'm just being aware. I'm not hungry. I'm going to drink some more green tea. I am going to drink my water. I'm going to keep moving, and I'm going to change and rewrite this kind of brain trigger that's been happening. I hope you guys are having a good day. Send me your questions, get some more fiber, and we'll talk to you soon.